This episode of Around the Oval is brought to you by Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage. Hey, Ohio State fans, Alex Gleitman here, back with another edition of Around the Oval, brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage on Buckeye Scoop. While Ohio State is no longer in the NCAA tournament, it certainly was March Madness last weekend. Not only the Buckeyes, but a number of other top seeds, especially across the Big Ten, got knocked out of the Big Dance. We're still having a little bit of fun in March, and our team's not making it all the way, but maybe our money will make it all the way. And so to talk about this weekend's Sweet 16 and Elite 8 matchups, and hopefully help everyone here wash their sorrows from watching the Buckeyes lose away by winning a little bit of money, we bring in our resident Ford sports wagering expert, I'll call him, paddyoherald. Paddy, thanks for joining the show. Really appreciate you coming on to talk a little Sweet 16 Elite 8 with us.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the invite. Should be a great weekend of games. A little disappointing with the Buckeyes. Thought they'd do a little better, but that's tournament hoops, man. It's crazy and different kind of matchups. Teams get knocked out that you don't think are going to get knocked out, but yeah, it should be a great weekend coming up. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to steal a little bit of thunder from Mark Givler and Bill Green's Vegas Knows podcast that they usually have, and talk a little bit of Bettor's guide for the Sweet 16 Elite 8. We're recording this on Wednesday evening. By the time most people listen to it, I think it'll be Thursday. So you'll be about 24 hours away from having to lock in your wagers for this weekend's games. I guess before we jump into the Sweet 16 matchups, we're going to go every single matchup, all 8, talk about the current spreads. I took the current lines from DraftKings, where sports wagering is legal there in the state of New Jersey, where I am. Some of those lines might be different by what book you look at and when you look at them, but we'll talk about those 8 matchups. But first, Paddy, how'd you do last weekend? I personally had a good weekend. I was up 5 units, which anytime you're up, I think that's a good thing. But how did you do last weekend?
Well, I started out not too well. I thought Michigan State would get me off and rolling, and had a nice lead with about a minute and a half left, and it goes to overtime and didn't go my way. And that continued on Friday and Saturday. Started out about 1,600 in the hole and then split them up on Sunday, but made a big comeback Monday night. Went 3-0, and they were both 2 dime plays. So all 3 of them, excuse me. So that got me on the plus side. I'm up 43-20 going into the weekend. So I got some money. I got something to play with. So
yeah, there you go. Playing with house money a little bit. And for those of you who don't know, Paddy, I first interacted with him when I was at 24/7 Sports and Bucknuts, and he's just been posting his picks: college football, college basketball, a little NFL, and pro sports here and there. And he posts them. I mean, you could go back and look at his picks. When he's down, he'll tell you. When he's up, he'll tell you. And when he's even, he'll tell you. So, you can, if you want to get his picks, I will say from following him now, whatever it's been, 5 years, he usually is on the plus side of this. I think there was maybe 1 year. I think you might have not had the best year, but other than one season, I should say, other than that, you've been on the plus side usually. So if you're not a member of Buckeye Scoop, suggest you become one. If you are a member, definitely check out our college football, college basketball, NFL, every sport wagering threads. Paddy's usually posted in there, as are myself and Bill Green and some of the other posters on the board. So let's dive into it. Let's talk Sweet 16. First matchup, a team that is probably a little underseeded in Loyola Chicago. Big upset, beating Illinois last weekend. They made a run to the Final Four a couple years back, and now they're back at it. They get they're an 8th seed and they're a favorite in the Sweet 16 against the 12 seed in Oregon State. That's a pretty crazy bracket down there. The Loyola's favored by 6.5 points over the Beavers. Paddy, what are your thoughts on that game?
Well, I didn't think Oregon State would be here at all. I really didn't think the 12 was that strong. They had maybe 2 or 3 good teams. But Oregon State's hot, man. They got some athletes. They can play. And Loyola's just on that run. I mean, they're a great team. Those kids have been playing together for a long time. I really like Loyola in this matchup. I think Oregon State's run kind of comes to an end here. I like laying the 6.5 with the Ramblers. Well coached team. Like I said, a lot of experience. I think they go on. They move on.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I like the Ramblers as well. I think talent is probably a wash. Oregon State's not that talented of a team versus Loyola. I think they've just got hot at the right time, made a nice run to the Pac-12 championship, and got a couple nice wins in the tournament. Caught Tennessee without some key players and whatnot, and maybe Oklahoma State falling asleep at the wheel a little bit. But I like Loyola. I think they're one of my favorite picks this week. I'm taking the Ramblers -6.5. Well, let's move on. A top seed that has not fallen yet in Baylor is favored by 7 over Villanova team that I think, at least myself, I picked them, and I know a lot of other people picked them to lose in round 1. But Jay Wright has his team back in the Sweet 16. Another really good coach, and he's only a dog by 7 to Baylor and Scott Drew. What do you think about that matchup?
Yes, I agree with you. I thought Villanova was going to make an early exit, but they got a lot of talent on that team, and with the injury, everyone thought they'd be done, but Jay Wright's Jay Wright. He does a great job with them, and however, I do like Baylor -7. I picked them in my brackets to go to the Final Four. I'm sticking with it. They're really good. I've seen them play quite a few times on TV now, and they're like a machine, man. Scott Drew is great coach, and they got it going on. I think they cover that 7, so I like Baylor.
Yeah, we're 2 for 2 in being aligned here. I like Baylor as well. I think Villanova's running on borrowed time a little bit, as you mentioned, the key injuries that they have. Some of their best players are out, and I just think Baylor is playing they look really good through the first 2 rounds. And so I like the Bears to move on. Now, this is the game Ohio State should have been in. Arkansas, the 3 seed in the bracket, is an 11.5 point favorite over Oral Roberts, who blew by Ohio State and Florida en route to the Sweet 16 as a 15 seed. This is a 3 versus 15 matchup, so understood on the 11.5 point spread. But how are you seeing this one play out, Paddy?
I like Oral Roberts in this. I like the points. I think that may go up to as much as 12, maybe 12.5. It probably won't go to 12.5. It'll probably just maybe get to 12. So I like the dog there. I think Oral Roberts could be the feel good story of the tournament. They kind of are right now after knocking off the Buckeyes. I just think they're on a roll. Good team. They were impressive. They were impressive against the Buckeyes. So, and Florida too. I mean, they hung in there. They could have folded, and they didn't. And that's a lot of points in a Sweet 16 game. So I like Oral Roberts plus the 11.5. Hopefully, I get 12.
Yeah, I'm actually on the other side of this one. I just think I think it's gonna be a close game in the first half, and then I think Arkansas is gonna pull away. Eric Musselman's another good coach, former NBA guy. He's got that team playing really well. They play well within his system. And I just think at some point, the Jimmies and Joes beat the X's and O's, and Oral Roberts can't shoot. They can't shoot the way they've been shooting. I know they got the top scorer in the nation and things like that. But I just think at some point that their luck runs out to some extent. I think, a team like that, they're going to try to hang around, maybe foul at the end. I think it's going to be really close, but I'm going Arkansas. I think it's a lot of points, but I'm going to take the Razorback. I'm probably stay away from that game, to be honest, but if I have to pick, I'm going Arkansas. A very intriguing matchup next I want to talk about is Houston, a 2 seed against Syracuse, an 11 seed. I personally had Syracuse in this matchup. as a Sweet 16 team. I really like the way they were playing coming in. Buddy Boeheim's hot right now. That zone defense and the way they can hit shots. They could be dangerous, but Houston, I know, their best player is kind of at 75% right now. He played last game against Rutgers. They narrowly escaped, but Kelvin Sampson, he's got another good team. He's got a good team. They're a 2 seed. They're favored by 6 points in this matchup against the Orange. Paddy, who are you liking in this one?
Uh, Once again, I got Houston going to the Final Four, so I like them to win this game and win outright. I think they cover that 6. They're getting healthy. Like you said, injured player was back in there. So I like Houston -6. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Syracuse is kind of running on borrowed time too. So they had a nice season, but I think Houston's just going to be too strong for them. I like the Cougars -6.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think at the end of I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think foul shots and things like that at the end of the game, gets the Cougars over that little hump, and they roll on to the Elite Eight from there, where they would take on either Loyola or Oregon State, and you're picking of having them in the Final Four, at least on paper. They're going to be the odds-on favorites, so that's a good pick right there. I had Illinois going to the final, so I'm dumb out of luck, but a team I do have winning it all is Gonzaga. And they're, I thought the spread was a little high. They're 13.5-point favorites against Creighton. I know Gonzaga is undefeated. I know they've looked really good so far, but 13.5 was a lot of points. And, I'm not going to surprise people. I'm going to take Creighton with the points here. I think Greg McDermott's a good coach. I think they got a good team. They're a 5 seed. It's not like, they're one of these 12 or 11s that advanced. And while I have Gonzaga as by far the best team in the country, I have them winning the national championship. I think this is the year they do it with Mark Few and all the talent that they have. I just think Creighton is a good team that will play well enough to cover the 13.5. And I'm going to snatch that one up, especially if it goes any higher. What are your thoughts on that one?
I love Creighton plus the 13.5. I'm with you on that. Zags obviously a great team. They got it going on. I mean, but that's a big number. Creighton, I did see him in person play. I saw him play Butler, and I was pretty impressed. They did lose to Butler the one game, but they came back and beat Butler at home. So they're a great team, great coach. Once again, a lot of experience. That's a lot of points. I like the 13.5 and Creighton. I'm taking the Blue Jays plus 13.5.
All right, we're aligned on every pick other than Arkansas and Oral Roberts here. So let's go to a tricky one, and we're gonna have to go with our heads, not our hearts here. The Michigan Wolverines are 2.5-point favorites over the Florida State Seminoles, and that's a 1-versus-4 matchup right there. What do you think about that one?
I am going with my head. I'm taking Florida State. I think Michigan is running on fumes. The injury to
Isaiah Livers,
I think that's going to catch up to them. Florida State's a gritty team, man. I think they're a team that could win it all, really, after watching them last weekend. I was hoping that would stay at 3.5. I think it opened at 3.5, but it's down to 2.5. It'll be right around 3, I think, at tip. So I like the Florida State plus the 3. I know that sounds like a hard bet, but I think they're a pretty good team. They're gritty, like I said, they can play. So.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I think even if Livers is available, I don't know how much he'll be able to do. I think what was his stress fracture in the foot. I mean, he hasn't played in how long, and I don't know. It's tough. I mean, Michigan's size inside is even without him is really good, and that's really tough to beat. But the thing about Michigan, I don't think they have elite guard play, and I think in the tournament, strong guard play is something that you kind of need to win it all. So I think either Michigan loses this round or next round. They're the only Big Ten team left, and I think they're going to win the game. I just think it could be, anywhere from 1 to 3 points. And so you're kind of sitting on that line. I'll probably take Michigan -2.5, but this is a game I'll admittedly stay away from. I think either team is capable of winning. So I'll stay away from that one. But we'll go to the other side of that bracket, and you got Alabama as a 2 seed against UCLA as an 11. The Tide are favored by 6 points. Personally, I think they're going to win the game, but I think UCLA is going to give them a heck of a contest. And they're playing good ball right now. I think they're playing a little bit over their head. I'm going to take UCLA with the 6 points. I know it's not a lot of points, but I think they're going to hang around, and I think they're going to keep it close. And Mick Cronin certainly knows how to slow down a game and play physical and just wear a team down. And I think Alabama is going to get a little bit of a scare. I think they're going to pull out. So money line Bama, but spread UCLA. What do you think, Paddy?
I agree with you. I like the points. I'm looking at 6.5. I'd like to get that hook. Definitely take them 6.5. The Bruins, like you said, they're playing good ball right now. They got hot. I think that big win over Michigan State in overtime, coming back at the end like that, kind of a springboard for them. A lot of momentum, and like you said, Cronin does a great job. They're a talented team. Bama's great too, but I could see Bama winning this game, by 2, 3, 4 points. But I like UCLA plus the 6.5. So
yeah, for sure. And then
Bruins.
I'm with you there. And so we're aligned on at least 6 of, or I guess 5 of the 7 games we've already run through. The last game is USC, a Pac-12 matchup here. USC favored. They're a 6 seed. They're playing a 7 seed in Oregon. They're favored by 2.5. You got Trojans or you got Ducks?
I got the Trojans -2. Pretty impressed with them. I've kind of followed them all year. I got them in my Final Four. I got 3 out of the 4 left, so I got to take the Trojans. I think it's -2. Yeah, they're playing great. They look awesome. I think they could be a Final Four team, and I got them winning.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love USC this week. I think coming off the huge win against Kansas, some people might look at a letdown game, but I think that's gonna build confidence for them. I don't think Oregon's that great this year. I really like the Trojans and how they're playing. I wish I had 3 of my 4 Final Four teams in, but I'm definitely with you on USC -2.5. So just to recap, Loyola -6.5 over Oregon State. We both had Baylor -7 over Nova. We both had. We differ on Arkansas -11.5 over Oral Roberts. I have Arkansas. Paddy has Oral Roberts. We both have Houston -6 against Syracuse. We both have Creighton +13.5 against Gonzaga. Paddy has FSU getting 2.5 against Michigan. I have the Wolverines. We both like UCLA with the points, 6 points right now against Bama. And then we're both on the Trojans giving 2.5 against Oregon. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out Friday, Saturday. And then we get the Elite 8 Sunday, Monday. And while we don't have the matchups yet, are there any bets that if certain things fall the way we think, we don't know spreads, we don't know matchups, but is there any matchups where you're like, ooh, if these 2 teams advance, I really like one team to upset someone and they're going to be dogs or they're going to be favorites and I don't care how many points, I'm going to take this team. Is there any matchups you're looking? I got a couple, but I don't know if do you have any matchups you're looking ahead at that you think could be interesting bets if things fall the way you think they might?
I think if Florida State can beat Michigan, and they're going to play, they play Bama. I really like Florida State. I think Florida State is kind of that, sleeper team that, like I said, I think they got it going on. They look really, really good the other night. And I really like them if they match up against Bama in that Elite 8 game.
Yeah.
The other one, too, is I really like Baylor. They seem to be rolling. They're going to be playing
probably Arkansas. Probably Arkansas, unless Oral Roberts pulls off an upset again.
Right. But I like Baylor. Those would be the two that I'm looking down the road, Florida State and Baylor.
Yeah, I like Florida State. I'm actually on the other way. I don't know. For some reason, I have a feeling Baylor is not going to make the Final Four, but so I don't have Arkansas. But the game I had is Gonzaga. They'll play the winner of USC Oregon. And while I think Gonzaga might win a closer than they'd like game against Creighton, I think they're gonna destroy either USC or Oregon. And so I don't know what the spread is going to be on that game. Probably smaller, obviously, if it's USC versus Oregon. But I really like Gonzaga because I think they're gonna be a little extra motivated to make sure that they make the Final Four and give themselves a chance. So, with that said, we'll take it into the back segment of our show. We'll talk about the current future bets of the 16 teams left. Is there any ones that you like? And then we'll talk about kind of the locks of the week. So let's talk future bets. I mean, I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll throw it up on the screen here for everyone. But there's ranging from Gonzaga at plus 155 now down to Oral Roberts at plus 10,000. After Gonzaga, it's Baylor at plus 350, Michigan plus 750, Houston plus 900, Bama plus 1100, Loyola plus 1300, FSU plus 1500, Arkansas plus 2000, USC plus 2500, Oregon and Nova at 3,300, Creighton at 4,000, UCLA at 4,000, Oregon State at 5,000, Syracuse at 6,000, and Oral Roberts at 10,000. Looking at, that currently, I mean, I'm thinking about placing a few futures. Are you liking any of those as good value? Gonzaga.
I got three.
You got three? All right, let's hear.
I got three. The first big one, 500 units I got on FSU, Florida State plus the 1,500. The other two smaller plays, Loyola plus the 1,300 for 100, and USC was the other one at 2,500 for 100. So I mean, all dogs, but yeah, I'm just kind of taking a chance with some of the dogs there.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I think Gonzaga is gonna get to the Final Four, and then get to the finals. And so I was kind of looking at the other side of the bracket and where there might be a little bit of value. And I think if I don't think Baylor at plus 350 is a terrible play. I think the odds are decent there for the team that probably, when you're just on paper, has the second best chance to win it all and could get there and beat Gonzaga talent wise and coaching wise. I like Houston. I mean, they get plus 900 as a 2 seed. And I think they have if they get by Syracuse, I think they got they got Loyola or Oregon State. And again, on paper, they should be able to get there. I think when you talk about another team in there is Arkansas. If they could get by Baylor and get to the Final Four, plus 2,000, if they're one of the top 4 teams. And then, I think Paddy kind of, you said you have USC in the Final Four. I mean, plus 2,500. I think that's really good value as well. So those are just some of the ones I'm looking at. But to round out our show, let's talk what we'll call our locks of the week. We're not going to say they're going to absolutely come in, but what the picks I would say we feel most confident about. What are you looking at?
Baylor -7. That's my pick of the week. If I had to put the 5 stars on it, I'll go with Baylor -7. I'm going to go with Houston minus the 6. And I like Creighton plus that 13.5. So those are my 3. If I had to give you 3, I do like Florida State, obviously, but my 3, Baylor -7, Houston -6, and Creighton plus the 13.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3 as well. And you could play them individual, play them as a parlay. I like Loyola -6.5 against Oregon State. I like Baylor -7 against Villanova. And I like USC -2.5 against Oregon. I'm going to parlay those 3 together. Hopefully gives me a nice win. I hit a nice 2-team parlay with Ohio and Maryland money lines last week against Virginia and UConn. And then I had Oregon over VCU as the third leg of that with the spread, but then that game got taken off the board due to COVID. So we're going to look to go 2 for 2 in parlays during the tournament with Loyola, USC, and Baylor. So that's a show. Paddy, thanks for joining us. I think, as you like to say on the board, BOL, best of luck to all. And, we'll be posting these picks on the board within the thread of this podcast. So be sure to check them out. We'll also post them in the March Madness college basketball wagering thread. So Paddy, thanks again for joining the show. Best of luck to you this weekend, and looking forward to seeing how things play out for us over the Sweet 16 and Elite 8.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun, and have a great weekend. Be safe and enjoy the games. Best of luck to everybody.
This episode of Around the Oval was brought to you by Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage. If you've been thinking about refinancing or buying a house, check out our sponsor, Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage. They offer low rates for refinancing and home purchase loans, including first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance, and cash-out home equity loans. Check out revolutionmortgage.com/tpennington.